Okay, so like I said, welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ari Trika, and we are going to be discussing or showcasing you the new firmware version 5.2.3. And for this webinar, it's probably around 40 minutes long, give or take. I'm going to split it up into two sections. So the first section is an actual tutorial on how to upgrade to 5.2.3 because it actually differs slightly to what you used to. Still very simple, but just differs just a little bit. And I'll obviously show you upcoming. And the second section, I'm actually going to show you all the new and improved features. So let's begin with how to upgrade, the how to upgrade tutorial. And we'll start off today by showing you which RPC or which camera models will support the new 5.2.3 firmware. So I'm just letting people in. Okay, so any SAT or RSAT v4 model will support the new 5.2.3 version. However, please note that the rollout will occur in phases. So not every model of v4 is going to have it straight off the bat. It's going to be rolled out in phases. In the following video, I will provide you a list of models for which this firmware is already available today. But for now, we'll just note that it's going to be rolled out in phases. Okay, then also I would like you to note while we're on this topic that all V2 and V3 models in the SSIT and RSIT will continue to run with their current firmware versions. Therefore, version 5.2.3 is not for V2 or V3 models. It's only for V4 models in both the SSIT and RSIT series, where V2 and V3 will run on the current firmware versions that are currently available out there. Just want to clarify that. So one of the most important questions is how do we get the firmware version 5.2.3? And I want you to note that version 5.2.3 won't be available on our website initially, as the update process differs slightly from previous versions. The update is not complicated, but if a mistake is made, it obviously will corrupt the camera. We don't want that to happen. So up next, I'm going to walk you through a tutorial showing you how to update both the SSIT and RSIT v4 models to version 5.2.3, as the steps vary slightly. Now onto how do you get the new version 5.2.3, and you have two options. So you can download it from our partner Dropbox shared folder. Some of you or most of you should have received an email with a link to this folder. If you didn't receive it, don't worry. I've attached a link in this presentation that will take you directly to the Dropbox folder. I recommend once you're in the folder to save this page as a favorite on your browser so you can easily access it going forward. Most of our content is on our website, but like certain items like the firmware version 5.2.3 are exclusive to Dropbox. So while we're on this topic, let me quickly take you through the folder and show you what type of content you can find in this folder, very high level. So when you open the folder, you're going to have a marketing database and a technical database. If you go to the technical database, it's going to have firmwares and spec sheets on all our products, from analog to RP to VMS Enterprise. Is going to have other tools like a hard drive calculator. It's going to have manuals as well. So a very useful tool for you guys if you want to access a lot of our content via, if you prefer to access via Dropbox, it's rather than our website, by all means. And then in the marketing folder, we've got a whole bunch of branding material, all the product pictures, some of our Checkpoint Corporation videos and PowerPoint presentations, some new product releases with all the spec sheets, all the videos, etc., PowerPoint presentations, recorded previous webinars, all you can find here in this Dropbox folder. So please look out for the link. If you haven't got it, it will come to you on this presentation, and I am going to most likely include it on the email that you're going to receive post this webinar with a quick link. And just don't forget to save it. So the other option is, we've got two options. And the other option is you can email our support team at support@provisionisr.com with your camera model number, and they'll send you a direct link to the firmware. Just keep in mind that accessing Dropbox will naturally be quicker. So I do recommend getting this or taking this link and opening it and saving it as a bookmark. Okay, so now onto the actual tutorial. So I want to start by showing you how to upgrade the SI to V4 models. Before we begin, I'm going to show you the current models as of September 2024, for which version 5.2.3 is already available for download via the Dropbox shared folder. So just as a reminder, as previously mentioned, this version will be rolled out in phases. So if a model you need is not available as of September, it should be available soon. Okay, so once you've clicked the link and you're in the Dropbox folder, we're going to go and locate the Provision ISR technical database folder, click it and open it. Inside, find and open the IP folder. Then locate the cameras folder. Then select the specific megapixel of camera you're looking to upgrade. And once you've done that, you can go and select the specific model. So for this example, I'm using a DR340 IPSN MVF-V4 model. So once you're in there, you can simply download it to your computer and save it obviously to your preferred location on your computer. So I'm just going to save it to my desktop. Okay. Now let's move on to extracting the folder we've just downloaded. So some websites may download it as a zip file. If that's the case, you'll need to extract it using a tool like WinRAR or WinZip. So we'll go ahead and do that. Fast forward a little bit. Once you've extracted it, you're going to go locate the folder, and you're going to locate the 5.1.1 to 5.2.3 upgrade instructions, which will be in a RAR format. You'll need to perform a second extraction, this time using the WinRAR tool. Okay. Save the extracted folder once again to a location of your choice on the computer, then locate it and open it, and inside you're going to find the following files. You're going to have a factory tool, which we'll use in step 1 of the upgrade process, a how to use factory tool guide, which explains how to use the tool. Inside the factory tool folder, there'll be a .fac file, which is needed for step 1 of the process. So we open up the folder. It's over there with the extension .fac. There's also a debug file, which is required for step 2 of the upgrade process, and the actual firmware version 5.2.3 for the final step. Lastly, and very importantly, you're going to find an upgrade instructions, which you must follow to successfully upgrade the camera to version 5.2.3. So let's begin with step 1 of the process. We're going to upgrade the instruction. We're going to follow the upgrade instructions that I strongly recommend you adhere to. This is what they look like. These are the instructions. It's outlined in 3 simple steps. So let's focus on step 1, which states, using the factory tool, import the .fac file from the factory tool folder. If you haven't used the factory tool before, it's recommended that you follow the how to use the factory tool guide available in the folder. Now let's go and locate and open up the factory tool folder. And we want to run the factory tool decrypt application. When the tool opens, it'll show a list of all Provision ISR devices on your network. You want to locate the camera you wish to upgrade. Once you've located it, you check the tick box next to it, and then you're going to enter the username and password for that camera. Then you're going to select profile, and this is where you're going to browse for the .fac file in the factory tool folder. Once you've found it, then select it, please, and then click open. You'll notice that the product type is auto-populated. It's crucial to ensure that the exact model of camera is selected. Sometimes the tool doesn't automatically select the model, in which case you'll need to manually choose it from this drop-down list. And after you selected the correct model, simply click on Set Default Configuration to begin the upgrade process. You'll receive confirmation that the camera is being configured. And once this process is completed, you will see a success message, and that's it for step one. Okay. Next step, which is uploading the debug file. Let's look at the how-to instructions guide again. And it says, after the camera reboots, log into the camera via the browser, go to maintenance, upgrade, browse and choose the file 32, etc. debug.pkg. Very important note, it says this step takes about 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, continue with step 3. Okay, it's a very important note that, and I'll show you exactly why we have to wait in the upcoming video. So let's carry on. Also note that after running the factory tool, the camera will reset to its default state, leaving it inactive. So you can either reactivate the camera using the IP tool manager, or since the instructions direct us to perform step 2 via the web interface, it's convenient to complete the activation there as well. So let's go ahead and open up the web interface of the camera, and you can easily do this within the IP manager tool by double-clicking on the camera. It will automatically open your web browser where you can begin the activation process by accepting the privacy statement. Once you've done that, we can create a password and then just reconfirm it. And then you can log in using the password you've just created. As the camera is obviously being reactivated, you will need to fill in the security questions again. Now that we've logged into the camera, we can go to the config and locate maintenance, and then we're going to click upgrade. We're going to select choose file. Sorry, I'm a bit ahead. Select choose file. And we need to navigate to the debug file located in the upgrade folder. Select it, click open. And then once you've done that, simply click upgrade and you'll be prompted to enter the camera's password. Once you've done that, the file will upload, the process will begin. Although you'll see it's going to say it takes about 2 to 5 minutes. In my experience, it took around 2 minutes to perform this task. I just obviously fast forwarded the process. And then once the upgrade is complete, the camera will reboot and you'll be prompted again to accept the privacy statement. And there are a few new steps to activate the camera, and you'll need to select a region. Once you've selected the region, you can configure your time settings. You are going to answer new security questions because you're reactivating the camera. And once again, you're going to have to create your password again. Once you've done that, the camera reboots again. And we can log in using the new password we just created and go back to the config and maintenance and upgrade section. So remember, the instructions indicated that you should wait 10 minutes after performing step 2 to begin step 3. This is important due to our dual system configuration or setup. The partition of system 1 needs about 10 minutes to verify the new file we've just uploaded and return to a normal state before proceeding with step 3. If you perform step 3 before the 10 minutes have passed, you're just going to receive an upgrade failed message. Okay, so you need to wait. Now let's move on to the final step, which is uploading the actual 5.2.3 upgrade file. And according to the instructions, it says log into the camera via the browser, go to maintenance, upgrade, browse, and choose the 320 IPSN v4, and it's got 5.2.3. So this is the actual version 5.2.3 upgrade file. Okay, so now let's log back into the camera, go to maintenance, and click upgrade. And we can confirm that the systems are both in a normal state. So we can do it. So all we're going to do is go select choose file, then locate version 5.2.3 upgrade file. Once you've selected it again, click on the upgrade and you'll be prompted to input the password, the camera's password. And you'll wait for the file to upload and start the upgrade process will start. Again, the system says the process will take 2 to 5 minutes, but once again, with this step, with my experience, it took around 2 minutes. And once this upgrade is done in step 2, the camera will reboot. When the camera reboots, I just want to point something out to you, that you will most likely need to download and install a new plugin. Okay, and if prompted, go ahead and do so, please. And it's also important for you to run the plugin while your browser is closed. So I'm just going to fast forward this part a little bit while I run the plugin. Then we reopen the camera, or the web interface of the camera. And you obviously enter the username and password. And I'm going to go check that version 5.2.3 has successfully been loaded by going to the config, and we can see it's successfully been loaded. So it's not extremely difficult. There is an extra step to what you guys are used to, and this is why we're not making it available right now for the website. On the RSite camera, I'm not going to go through the how to locate, download, extract the firmware again. I'm going to jump straight into the part where it's already been downloaded and extracted. Remember at the beginning, I told you that the process to upgrade the SSite and RSite differs slightly. So for the RSite, in step 2, instead of loading a debug file, we're going to need to load the latest firmware of 5.1.2 or 5.1.3. Even if the camera is on the latest version, we still need to follow this step. Okay, it's very important to follow the steps exactly. So, just 1 second. So step 1 in principle is the same as the SSite. We're going to use the factory tool to import a FAC file, which you'll locate in the factory tool folder, and there's obviously how to use factory tool guide in this folder as well. 1 second. My mouse isn't communicating. So we're going to go to the factory tool folder, and we're going to open the factory tool vcrypt application. Once the tool launches, once again, it's going to display all the provisioned ISR devices on your network. Once again, you want to locate the camera to which you want to upgrade. You want to tick the tick box next to it, and then enter the camera's username and password. And then you're going to go to select profile and browse for the .fac folder, which you can locate in the factory tool folder. Okay, so once you open it, I want you to notice that the product type gets automated, but you can see that I'm trying to upgrade a DR340 IPEN, and it's giving me a DAR340. So you need to be very careful, and you need to ensure that you select the correct model by clicking on the drop down and going and obviously selecting it. And it's the same as the SSite. Once you've done that, you set configuration, you're going to get a written confirmation that it's been configured. And once it's done, you're going to get a success again, informing you that it's been completed. Okay, so upgrade step 2 is actually upgrading to the latest version of 5.1.3 or 5.1.2. And it says, after the camera reboots, log into the camera via the browser, go to maintenance, upgrade, browse, and choose 5.1.x, upgrade file in this folder. It says there, upgrade even if your camera is already on the same firmware version. And again, it notes it takes about 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, continue with step 3. So the same concept with I just showed you with the dual system, that both systems have to be in a normal state before you can carry on and with step number 3. So the difference between SSIT and RSIT, again, is that SSIT you loaded a debug file. With RSIT, you load in the camera's latest firmware of 5.1.2 or 5.1.3. So once again, because we use the factory tool, the camera is going to be deactivated or inactive. So you can either activate it via the IP tool manager or via the web browser. So we'll go ahead and do it via the web browser like before. And we're going to enter the password, or create a password, should I say. Enter into the camera. Redo your security questions because you are reactivating the camera. And then we're going to go to locate config, go to maintenance and go to upgrade. And then we're going to go to choose a file and we're going to go select the latest version of 5.1.2 or 5.1.3, depending on which model you selected. So it actually says there 5.1.2, select it and open and then upgrade. So enter your password. Once again, the process takes 2 to 5 minutes. Once it's done, it reboots, re-enter the password. And I just wanted to show you, as soon as you re-enter, again, that the dual system, system 1 is running and observing, therefore not in a normal state. It's not going to allow you to perform step 3. So we need to wait for that, which takes about 10 minutes. Okay. So onto the last step, which is actually loading the 5.2.3 firmware itself or upgrade file itself. So once again, log into the camera, go to the browser, go to upgrade, sorry, log into the camera, go to config, go to upgrade. You can see that both systems are in a normal state. The camera is ready for an upgrade file. Go and select the file. This time we want to go select 5.2.3. And we are going to hit upgrade and we're going to input the password again and we're going to wait a few minutes for the system to perform the upgrade. And then the camera should reboot. The camera, it gets deactivated, so we're going to have to reactivate the camera again. But this time I want you to, it's a bit different. Oh, sorry. So first of all, you can select your region. You're going to select your time and date settings. You're going to redo your security questions. So this is all the same as before. You're going to put your password in, but the last step is different on the R site because it prompts you to select your preferred analytic mode. So as you hopefully might know, in the R site cameras, the cameras can either do face detection or AI events. So face events being face detection and AI events being like metadata, line crossing, object counting, legal parking, etc. So with the new version 5.2.3, we've embedded the selection between the two modes in the startup wizard specifically for the web GUI. So once you've selected your AI mode, and I'm going to select AI events, and by the way, just so you're aware, if you select AI events, all analytics available in the AI event, you can run at the same time. So that's also the nice thing about 5.2.3. You can run multiple analytics concurrently with this version. So the camera reboots and you're going to log in again and just to go check that the camera has successfully been loaded to 5.2.3. Go into the config, go to basic information, and it will give you the firmware version, which is 5.2.3. Okay. Everyone's still with me? We've got about 15 minutes left. So moving on to, after the tutorial, I want to discuss the highlighted features. But before I get to that, I just want to clarify something about checkpoint support. The following information is just a clarification regarding checkpoints. When you purchase a new IP camera with Checkpoint cyber protection, it comes with Checkpoint Nano Agent embedded. However, this feature is disabled by default. It needs to be enabled manually. All right, and it's to enable it, it's super simple, and I have a video just to show you how. So remember, this is to enable checkpoint protection on an IP camera. So we're logging into the IP camera web interface. So we log in, and then we're going to go locate the config setting page. And under security, you'll actually see it says checkpoint protection. We're going to click on that. And as mentioned, by default, it's disabled. In order to enable it, we just click on the checkpoint IoT device protection. Then we're going to go hit apply on the right-hand side. The system is going to prompt you for a confirmation that you want to do this, and you'll also be prompted to input the camera's password. Then the camera will reboot. Obviously, you wait for the camera to reboot. Once it reboots, checkpoint is now enabled, and we'll just go and double check what it looks like once it is enabled. So we're going to log back into the camera. We're going to go back to the config, and we can see that checkpoint protection has successfully been enabled and is working. So just a bit of clarification for you guys. All right, so onto our first brand new feature, and it's a great one. It's an amazing one, actually, which is cloud updates. So starting from version 5.2.3, our cameras will support cloud-based updates, eliminating the need for manual updates. However, it is important for you to note that the initial update, like I've literally just shown you, to version 5.2.3 must still be done manually. Okay, so just please bear that in mind. So from today, any camera that is compatible with version 5.2.3 must be updated manually. It is recommended for you to follow the upgrade instructions provided in the 5.2.3 firmware folder. Once 5.2.3 is, so these are the instructions, apologies. Once 5.2.3 is installed, any future updates, or any future updates for compatible models, such as the R-Sight and S-Sight V4 models or V4 cameras, will be handled via the cloud. Okay. The next feature is we introducing OnViv M support. So before I explain Profile M support, let me begin by explaining OnViv for those who don't know. What actually is OnViv? So OnViv promotes compatibility between IP-based security products for seamless integration across manufacturers, devices, and platforms. Then what is Profile M exactly? Profile M is an OnViv standard designed for analytics applications, focusing on standardized metadata and event handling. It enables devices like IP cameras to transmit metadata efficiently over IP networks, supporting analytic features such as object classification and event triggering, very important. So, what metadata is supported by Profile M? Metadata in this context provides a description of elements in a video scene. And these elements can be a number of things. So for instance, it can be a vehicle, it can be a human, it can be a face detection, it can be a vehicle license plate. By standardizing the communication of metadata, different vendor components in IP-based systems can use this information, and our camera can send metadata about detected objects to third-party video management systems to trigger responses such as alerts and recordings. And other benefits I want to highlight for you is that Profile M, you can also do analytic rule configuration via third-party VMS. So you can use a third-party VMS like NX Witness, Milestone to actually set up your analytic parameters as well. I put together a list of current supported ProVision ISR models that are already compatible with Profile M. This info has been taken directly from the OnViv website, which you can find over here. Okay, soon the S-Sight and R-Sight V4 models will be added to this list of compatible devices on the OnViv website. Another new feature is scheduled FTP storage. So starting from version 5.2.3, you're able to send snapshots at scheduled intervals to an FTP server. Historically, sending FTP snapshots was only possible as a trigger to an event. This was any type of event. You couldn't choose which type of event would trigger a snapshot, so any event on your system would automatically send a snapshot. In 5.2.3, you can now send images to an FTP server at intervals ranging from 1 to 86,400 seconds, which translates to 24 hours. So from 1 second to every 24 hours, you can request the camera to send a snapshot to an FTP server. Why would you want this feature? And I've come up with a couple of applications for you to understand why. So first of all, in order to create time-lapse videos, by sending interval snapshots over a period of time, you can easily create time-lapse videos like the two over here. Okay. And secondly, we have a project with one of our partners where he's using the scheduled FTP snapshot as almost like a keep alive evidence. So every single day at a specific interval, his server is receiving a snapshot from the camera, giving him or providing him evidence that the cameras are online and working. Let me show you how to set up this. Feature. And I'm going to be using a third-party server or FTP server software. So in order to begin the process, we're going to create a new user, in essence, a server name. We're going to set a password, and we're going to ensure that we enable login. Oh, sorry, let me just go back. We're going to ensure that the password is enabled for login, as is required when configuring the FTP settings on the camera. And finally, we're going to create a virtual path, okay, a native path to direct the FTP server where to save images on the PC that are coming from our device. Moving on to the camera side, we're going to locate the FTP settings within the network settings. From this menu, we're going to add a new profile, and we'll input the credentials from the FTP server we've just created. So to begin, click Add, then provide a recognized name to the server, then provide the server's IP address so that the camera knows where to send the photos. Now let's point it to the upload folder on that server, and this will be the virtual path located on the FTP server. And lastly, enter the username and password we created on the FTP software. Let's go ahead and save these settings. And if you like, you can test that the connection is working there and there. You also have the option to select which type of snapshot must be sent to the FTP server, or quality of snapshots. So you can either select mainstream or substream. Now that you've successfully configured the device to point to your FTP server, it's time to enable the FTP schedule snapshot on the camera itself. So as soon as it's enabled, by default, the server address we just configured will be selected, and underneath you'll see the option to select your snapshot interval ranging from 1 to 24 seconds. So it's a bit fast there. So yeah, you can select your snapshot interval, which ranges from 1 to 24 hours. And for this example, I've selected 5 seconds. Now that everything's been configured on both the FTP server and the camera, we can go and observe the snapshots being sent to our server every 5 seconds. Just note, I have fast forward this slightly, so we have to wait 5 seconds for a snapshot to come through, but literally every 5 seconds, our FTP server is receiving snapshots and storing them in the designated folder on our computer. I hope you found this interesting and you got some good examples or practical examples for you guys to use out in the real world. I'd like to move on to the next topic. The next feature is related to activating the IP camera via the web interface. It's kind of repeating myself because I did show it to you in the tutorial or how-to tutorial on the eyesight camera. So this is purely for the eyesight camera. Just to remind you, you're going to have 6 simple steps. The one I want to highlight again is the ability to select your preferred analytic mode. So either be an AI event, which you'll have the ability to enable metadata, line crossing, sterile area, object counting, illegal parking, loitering at almost sound all at the same time. Or if you need face detection, you can simply enable face event. Okay. The next feature is for those looking to integrate with our cameras. So there are 2 primary methods for integration. There's API integration and there's HTTP post integration. First, the API integration, where you can use API commands from ProvisionISR to build code, usually in C or C++, to send commands to the camera and get responses, allowing control and customization. So in essence, you have your third-party device and your ProvisionISR device. The third-party device sends an API command to our device, and our device has to respond with the relevant information. Second is HTTP post integration, which is events-based. The third party listens to our camera for updates, and the camera sends events in XML format via HTTP post commands without requiring the third party to send requests or commands. So this is just a general explanation. Okay. In 5.2.3, we give you the ability to send more precise alarm types. Previously, any alarm type coming from our device would automatically be sent via HTTP post. It was not optional for you to choose specifically what you wanted to receive. Any alarm type, such as motion or analytical events, was always being pushed via HTTP post to the third-party device. Now, we've added a selection of specific alarm types to be sent to in 5.2.3, and the list of alarms, and this is the list of the alarm types that you could choose from. However, I'd rather show you in an upcoming video exactly how this works. So let's begin by showing you how it worked in our previous version. So as you can see, there's no option to select a specific alarm type, meaning any alarm generated by the device would automatically be sent. Now in version 5.2.3, you have the option to choose which alarm type gets sent. Additionally, you can select the type of picture to send, either an original picture, which captures the entire scene, or an object picture, which focuses only on the detected object. This gives you more control and specificity in your integrations. Okay, we've already created a domain for this example, so we'll go ahead and input this information. But more interestingly, I would like to show you how the data is sent in XML format. I'm going to get to that now. So you see it come online, and now I want to show you how it actually works. So only the enabled alarm types are sent when the event occurs, and once again, it'll be transmitted via HTTP post in XML format. Any alarm types not selected will not be sent if triggered by an event. On the right-hand side, we have a human detection based on a sterile area. When that event occurs, an XML file is automatically pushed to the third-party software. Typically, this XML file is decoded by the third-party software during the integration process. However, for this example, we're going to manually decode it using a base64 decoder, just to show you how the image is extracted from this code. So we're using base64 GUI for this. We'll just paste the XML code into the decoder, and it will decode the data into an actual image. This is the original picture, meaning the entire scene. And now let's do the same for the object picture. So we're going to go and copy that code, and we're going to paste it once again into Base Guru. And this time the image should show just the detected object from that scene. Okay. If you are interested in any type of integration, please feel free to email our integrations department at integrations@provisionisr.com for assistance. It's integrations@provisionisr.com. We're very close to the end. But 2 more topics to go, no more videos, so we'll go quite quickly. And next, we've added 802.1x support. But what exactly is 802.1x? So it's high level to security protocol for networks. What is its purpose? It's to make sure only approved devices can connect to the network. How does it work? If a device tries to join a network, the network checks with the security server to see if the device is allowed. If the device is allowed, it's approved and will get access into the network. Why is it important? It basically keeps unauthorized users from accessing the network, which obviously will enhance your security. Previously, on our previous versions of firmware, we only offered 802.1x with MD5 support. This type of setup is easier, but it's less secure, and it's suitable for less crucial applications. With version 5.2.3, we've added 802.1x with TLS. This is a much more secure and more comprehensive protocol, but requires a more extensive setup and maintenance. Therefore, this type of authentication is more suitable for high security applications. Guys, this is our last topic for today, which is improved 360p resolution for eyesight series only. What does it mean in terms of resolution and aspect ratio? The 360p resolution maintains a 16:9 aspect ratio in the substream. So it keeps the 16:9 proportions intact and ensures a better fit in the original proportions. And in turn, will avoid signal distortion when viewing via an NVR or web interface or VMS. That is it for the release. Appreciate your time and your concentration. If you've got any questions, please either open up your microphone or write them in the chat box, and I will do my best to